Bauchi community threatened by flood ask government to address deplorable condition of a bridge linking them with outside world. Contact tracing and emergency response center activated in Osun State after diphtheria outbreak. Court dismisses Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's case against Rochas Okorocha. On the foreign scene, South Africa deploys army over burning of trucks, braces for unrest over ex-president's court case. These are the headlines on Trust News Update this hour. Thanks for joining. I am Ayuba Ilya. People of Gwalaga Mayaki in Bauchi State have asked the state government to redouble effort in arresting the deplorable condition of the bridge linking them with the outside world for economic prosperity. They made their appeal on the need to mitigate the incessant collapse of the bridge on account of flood annually. Adamu Imam reports.
The Gwalaga Mayaki community said the issue of reconstruction of the bridge has been pending because of unfulfilled promises from previous governments, hoping that the current government will act fast.
That we are seeing, the water is flooded all. Here that we are staying, you cannot stay here because the water is, there is not people in that house because of that flooding. All that place that we are seeing, it is rain. When the water comes, it's flood there. They cannot access, we cannot make anything.
Abdul Hakim Abdul Rafiu, another resident, said that many residents are sleeping with one eye open, especially during rainy season.
Farmers that are doing their work here, the rain season will take it away. There is no anything they will get in their farm. We are facing a lot of challenges.
Even if we try to mitigate the impact of flood here, we cannot, because we are alone. Until government supports us, we usually contribute money from the members of this community. We were still hoping this present administration will arrest the deplorable condition of this road and the bridge as well. We have assurance, but we are still waiting for them to make lasting solution to this problem. Flooding here submerged all this area. People cannot get access to other side until after 1 to 3 hours waiting. When the water flow subsides, we cannot see anything. It is only the water that covers everywhere. It creates problem. We are saying government should rise up. It becomes worrisome to us. The bridge is collapsing every year. Although some effort have been made to mitigate the devastating effect of flood, there are still fears of unknown. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Osun State Police, Osun State government has appealed to residents of the state not to panic over the outbreak of diphtheria infection in the state. After the death of the index case in the State Ministry of Health moved swiftly to contain the infection. Hamid Oyegbadi reports.
The index case of diphtheria infection in Osun State was a 6-year-old boy who died on July 7th after showing symptoms. The test conducted confirmed that the boy died from the infection. The state government immediately launched contact tracing and activated emergency response center at the State Ministry of Health in Osogbo to prevent the spread of the infection in the state. The Permanent Secretary, Osun State Ministry of Health, Isiaka Adekunle, said the state government is working with the Federal Ministry of Health to prevent the spread of the infection among residents.
We only have this index case. Yes, we may have some suspected cases, but once it has not been confirmed, we cannot say, I can't say this is the number of suspected cases until there is confirmation. So for now, no other case apart from this particular one.
Adekunle appealed to residents not to panic, saying that the infection is preventable and treatable. He advised parents, especially mothers, to ensure that their children are fully vaccinated so as not to be infected.
It is a treatable disease, and above all, it is even preventable by taking immunization. Adults need not to be afraid. Adults need not to be afraid. And if our children had been fully immunized, we don't need to be afraid.
However, most people in the state are not aware of the disease, a pointer that the state government needs to intensify sensitization against the disease. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Police in Lagos State on Friday paraded 26 suspected criminals for various offences like cultism, murder and pipeline vandalism in the state. Victoria Tokolo reports that among the 27 suspects, one is a female.
Lagos State Police Commissioner has said under his watch, no kind of criminality will be allowed in this state. Parading the 27 suspected criminals who are into cultism and pipeline vandalism, the commissioner said his men recovered 2 motorcycles, 1 unregistered Toyota Corolla, 7 locally made pistols, 1 blue Barrett with cultism logo, 1 knife, 1 axe, and multiple of charms from the suspects. The police public relations officer of the command, Benjamin Hundeyin, who represented the state commissioner, speaks on what the command is doing to guard against activities of criminals in Lagos.
Concerning the pipeline vandalism, police complicity, I'll leave that at what it is for now, accusation. When any one of them is arrested, then we can confirm that yes, there's complicity on the part of police. But true, that's a concern many people have raised. Police complicity, not just police, let's say security agencies, their complicity. And this is an ongoing investigation about the one in Idimo. We have 1 suspect. We also have other suspects we have not arrested. We have their identity, we have their location, and in
The suspects are from different areas of the state, from Mushi, Okomaiko, Iba, Agege, and Idimo area of Lagos State. The police image maker urged parents to take responsibility of their children, as most of them join cult groups through peer pressure.
They mix with the wrong crowd and they succumb to peer pressure. So it is something that should be a collective responsibility. For us, we are doing our part to enforce the law, to arrest perpetrators and get them prosecuted. But societal leaders too, parents, guardians too, need to keep tabs on their children. So it's not enough that your children go to school and come back. You should go the extra mile to ask what happened in school today. It's not enough for your teenage child to say, I'm going for a birthday party. You should go the extra mile to ask questions about the party. And when they come back from the party, what's really transpired at the party. Because most of the people that get initiated do get initiation at parties, sometimes even behind their school. Is that crazy? Sometimes after or during break or after school, behind the school premises. So I'm saying that while we play our part, we also encourage everybody out there to also join hands to monitor the vulnerable demographic, the youths. We need to monitor them and see what they do.
The Commissioner of Police, Idowu Ohunwa, through the Public Relations Officer, said that fight against crimes in the society requires collective responsibility.
Theft and removal of manhole meant to cover public utilities in Abuja is posing risk and safety concerns to human lives and properties among residents. However, Police Commissioner in the capital city, Haruna Garba, said some arrests of perpetrators have been made and some of the stolen manholes recovered. The report.
Manhole gives access to public utility for maintenance purpose, but manhole cover in Abuja are stolen and sold. Many residents said the trend, if left unchecked, can lead to unpleasant consequences. Police Commissioner Haruna Garba urged residents to contribute their quota in arresting the situation to bring an end to this vandalization.
What they should do as a patriotic Nigerians is to alert police and other sister security agencies to apprehend them. But where you see them and you turn your ways to the other side, you are not patriotic enough. And in any case, as a private citizen, you can make arrest and then hand over to law enforcement agencies immediately after that arrest. When you see a scavenger removing manhole and you are two or three of you can apprehend one person and stop that act from taking place, and then you report promptly.
Some Abuja residents said that the scavengers, also known as Babambola, are to be blamed for this theft.
All these Babambolas, all these scavengers, they are the people responsible for removing all these things. And the danger of this is, if it is the night, when there is no light, when vehicles enters, it can tumble or it can burst your tire, and that will lead to an accident.
Months back, I came back from Mox. Although it's my fault, I concentrate on my phone. So I mistakenly fall inside the manhole and I was injured in my leg.
Those Agboro, those Babambora, that is my understanding. Because there's no one can come and remove those covers.
Lack of maintenance and continuity. I believe these things were provided by somebody. And maybe the next person that took over felt unconcerned. The only thing I know government can do is to provide security for all these things. You can see it is a hole. Maybe it's deep enough that someone can hide inside.
Those that are removing it, they should be able to be arrested. Because by doing that, if they leave it like that, everything will get damage in the country.
There should be a special maybe task force that will be patrolling the road, I think, every day. That is what government should do. And if there are ways they can do that, they cannot be removed. That is left for the government to do that.
They called on government to ensure measures are put in place to bring an end to this incessant theft of the manhole covers across the city. Dokazala, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A federal high court in the Federal Capital Territory has dismissed the case against former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, instituted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The court describes the EFCC's charges of fraud and abuse of office as an abuse of judicial process. The presiding judge, Justice Yusuf Halilu, premised his judgment on the fact that the EFCC had filed a similar charge against the former Imo State governor at the Federal High Court. A case was decided upon in favor of the former governor in December last year. Parliament is seen as the bastion of democracy in the presidential system of government. So many petitions have emanated from the 2023 general elections, but the attention of media seems to be focused on petitions at the Presidential and Governorship Elections Tribunal. Yusuf Akogu interrogates why there is a glaring neglect of cases involving national and even state assembly elections.
The legislature is the closest institution of democracy to the people. As the only arm of government that offers the largest representation of citizens, it is naturally structured to guarantee citizens' participation in decision-making process in all realms of lawmaking, oversight, representation, and constituency services. In spite of the fundamental role the national and subnational legislature play in a democratic system, many Nigerians are not concerned enough about this arm of government. Some citizens are concerned not much priority has been given to the coverage of the judicial proceedings of the National Assembly election petitions.
Don't want people to start, further demeaning this democracy. The media, as an appeal, we have to rise to the occasion and ensure that people knows about when the election petition tribunal for presidency is going on. Almost every Nigerian on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on social media, on TV, or even in print media, they know everything about the facts of that case. But in the National Assembly matters, people hardly know anything going on, and any judgment can come, and which may affect the people. Another thing is that the media is the only body that can effectively exercise oversight on the judiciary.
Myself, I don't even know if my representative is in court or not. If there's any conversation about that, I've never seen it on the print media. I've never seen it on on television. So this conversation is very important because we cannot suppress. We shouldn't be. We cannot allow the system or the executive or whichever or the judiciary to suppress, the visibility of the legislature.
If the general public believe that lawmakers are critical stakeholders in a democracy, who then should be blamed for the lack of attention from the media?
The media has the responsibility of educating and enlightening the citizens that you guys, where you focus your attention may not be where your help lies, and then educating constitutionally and the roles each of these layers of government play.
The imbalance in the reportage of election petitions emanating from legislative elections cannot be denied. The onus is therefore on watchdog institutions to retool the approach to election petition reportage in Nigeria. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at love affair turned sour. Details and more after the break.
Let's take you on a ride through a series of colors, events, concerts, and lots more. Are you planning an event? EventScope has you covered. Make Trust TV your #1 choice to cover your event. Call 080-3591-0553. EventScope, making your event classic. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Trust TV News for latest updates on EventScope.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories again. Bauchi community threatened by flood asks government to address deplorable condition of a bridge linking them with the outside world. Contact tracing and emergency response center activated in Osun State after diphtheria outbreak. In other news, farmers in Zaria attribute lack of patronage of improved seeds produced by research institutes to high cost and high consumption of fertilizers. This, according to them, is because improved seed demand high quantity of assorted fertilizer on farmlands to achieve bumper harvest. Abubakar Sadiq sent in the report as presented from our studio.
Attributed high cost of assorted fertilizer to factors causing lack of patronage on improved seed. These, according to them, is because improved seed demand high quality of assorted fertilizer on farmlands to ensure bumper harvest. A peasant farmer in Zaria, Salisu Ahmed, said inflation is one of the factors hindering farmers from using improved seeds in their farm. He pointed out that any farmer using improved seed must require substantial amount of fertilizer in order to record high yield at the end of harvest year.
Well, not only the issue of the high cost, and it consumes a lot of fertilizer, because in our normal sense, we are using ordinary material fertilizer like manure. The ordinary manure, we are using it in ordinary seed. So by accepting the new seeds, it will taking us a high cost of using fertilizer, and you must use the modern fertilizer in that case.
Ahmed blamed the skyrocketing cost of assorted fertilizer to the major reason farmers are avoiding use of improved seed on their farmland. Adamu Mohammed, who is also a peasant farmer in Zaria, corroborated reasons given by Salisu Ahmed for lack of adequate utilization of improved seed by farmers. He said farmers have largely reverted to using locally produced seed instead of the improved seed because it costs less and can accommodate local manure rather than assorted fertilizer. Mohammed, however, suggested that government shall subsidize the price of both improved seed and assorted fertilizer to make them affordable to farmers for maximum productivity. In his contribution, an agronomist from the Department of Agronomy, Faculty of Agriculture, Institute of Agricultural Research, ABU Zaria, Professor Adamu Salisu Dadari, said farmers could no longer access improved seed due to high inflation.
Farmers no improve yield and give you 6 to 8 tons per hectare for me. But despite the fact farmers work hard with the local, with the other input they have with their maize, they call it Syria.
The agronomist generally attributed corruption by government officials as one of the key factors leading to high cost of agricultural input in Nigeria. Professor Dadari advised government to look into the plight of Nigerian farmers with a view to strengthening agricultural production in the country.
We are imploring the government to look at this critically. No country develops without agriculture. No country economy becomes buoyant without agriculture. Education, agriculture, and health are fundamental for any nation to see light, for any nation to grow.
He urged government at all levels to prevail on government officials, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, to enable farmers benefit from the subsidized agricultural policies and loan provisions. Abubakar Sadiq Mohammed, Trust TV News, Zaria.
Police in Osun State have arrested a 17-year-old girl, Victory Ahayate, for allegedly conniving with her male friends to rob her lover. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Kehinde Longe, said that the girl and her suspected accomplices robbed the man to the tune of 1.5 million naira. Hamid Oebade reports.
The suspect, a 17-year-old girl, Ayante Victory, met a Lagos-based lover on the social media. She allegedly lured the man to Ikire town in Osun State from Lagos and conspired with her male friends to rob the man. The other suspects, Adeleke Opeyemi and Ariyo Abayomi, withdrew 1.5 million naira from the bank account of their victim.
So he came, so after I hung up the call, so when my boyfriend heard everything, because I put the phone on speaker, after my boyfriend heard everything, so he was telling me that like he wants to know the guy, like for the guy to be bold like that, like I was thinking my boyfriend wanted to tell him that after the guy, this guy my baby, something like that. So not there when they collected money from the guy, because I went to my instead there. But I heard they collected 1.4 million. I'm 17 years old.
The Commissioner of Police in the state, Kehinde Longe, condemned the action of the girl and her male friends. He said they will be charged to court.
A young man of age 29 met a young lady on the social media, probably on a dating site, I wouldn't know. He got interested in that lady. He had to leave Lagos to come down to Ikire in Osun State because I think the young man fell in love with the lady. He lodged in an hotel. The lady was able to bring him to come to our house. In the process, the lady and our cohorts arrested him, alleged that he wanted to rape the young lady. In the process, his phones were taken, his ATM card taken, He was stripped naked, humiliated. He had to be forced to divulge his PIN number, and instrumentally they withdrew 100,000. And when they knew there was sufficient money in there, before he knew it, 1.4 million was removed.
The police chief advised Nigerians to be careful with who they interact with on the social media so as not to fall victim of unscrupulous people. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Now on the foreign scene, South Africa has deployed the army in 4 of its provinces on February after at least 21 trucks carrying goods were set on fire on national roads in various parts of the country over the past week. Authorities have not established the motive for the attacks, but Police Minister Bheki Cele said that there is a possibility of economic sabotage against South Africa. He did not say who might be behind the campaign, but police are hunting for at least 12 people believed to be linked to the attacks. Cele said that there was no evidence that the truck burning was connected to the week-long violence and unrest in July 2021, when more than 350 people were killed and businesses were looted. Cele said that 21 trucks had been burnt down since Sunday in the Limpopo, Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal provinces. Sunday, when the truck burning apparently started, was the second anniversary of the start of the 2021 violence. Authorities have not reported any deaths or serious injuries related to the torching of the trucks. And in sports news, the United States saw a record of still on the foreign scene, however, the United States saw a record of 28 mass killings in the first half of 2023, the Associated Press has reported, as policymakers struggle to curb gun violence. Across the country, the AP analysis published on Friday said that 140 victims were killed during the period, all but one of the mass killings incidents in which 4 or more people are slain, not including the perpetrator. A database maintained by the Associated Press and the USA Today in partnership with the Northeastern University has been tracking large-scale violence since 2006. Gun laws have been a polarizing political issue in the U.S. While Democrats call for tighter regulations, Republicans view the gun ownership as an unquestionable right granted by the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.